everyone, I'm Cheryl and welcome to my sewing room. I've already put 2 videos out on 2 different types of face masks, but they all required a sewing machine. And many of you said, what do I do if I don't know how to sew and I don't have a sewing machine? So I went on the CDC website, and the link to the website is listed below the screen if you have any questions. And I'm going to go by what they suggested for a no-sew face mask. So here's what you're going to need to get started. They recommend you use quilting fabric, and you would need a 20 by 20 inch square. If you don't have access to quilting fabric, and by the way, you can find it of course at quilt fabric stores and places like Joann Fabrics and Crafts, and even some Walmart stores sell quilting fabric. They recommend though, the CDC, if you don't have access to your quilting fabric, then use t-shirt, 100% cotton. I found that you're going to need at least an extra large t-shirt because the large t-shirt wasn't big enough to get a 20 by 20 inch square. Then you're going to need 2 hair ties. If you don't have hair ties, they recommend 2 rubber bands. If you just happen to have some elastic, which there is a big shortage of elastic right now, but maybe you're lucky enough to have some, cut a 7-inch piece, overlap the ends, and take a needle and thread and just go in and out to hold the elastic ends together. So hopefully you've got a needle and thread and at least some elastic around there if you don't have the rubber bands and hair ties. Then they show that you can use a coffee filter in it. So this is a man's large size undershirt. It's not going to give you quite that 20 by 20 inch square that you need. You'll get an 18-inch square out of it. So if you have extra large t-shirts, you might be able to get that 20-inch square. But here's how you would go about cutting out your square, no matter what the size you're using. I'm first just going to put I have a cutting mat with a bunch of lines on it, but if you have any kind of ruler, just go ahead and use that ruler and just measure a 20-inch square. And I'm just going to go ahead and draw on this. Then if all you have is a pair of scissors, then you would go ahead and just cut right on this and cut that edge off. Now, because I have a rotary cutter, I'm going to use that because it's just much easier for me. So I'm lining it up and I'm going to cut. Okay. Take your scissors, go ahead and turn this. Take your scissors and just slip them in between the 2 layers here and just cut. After you got this side cut, then you would go over to this side and cut it off. If you have the right size t-shirt, you should be able to get 2 20-inch squares out of it. So now I'm going to show you how to fold it. So you would fold this one side towards the middle, then take the other side and bring it in towards the middle. And the 2 ends, or the 2 sides, sort of meet each other halfway. And if you have a coffee filter, and I don't have a cone shape, I have the basket shape. Now on the CDC guidelines website page, they didn't say if you use a double section of coffee filter. They just showed if you had a cone, you would cut the bottom off. So I'm going to assume they want you to use a double layer. But you should go to that website and read it to make sure I interpreted everything correctly. So lay your coffee filter in the middle of the mask and fold these back over again. And then you're going to fold it in half again. Then take your 2 hair ties and insert the end of your square in and go to the other side and do the same thing. Now on their web page they showed you fold it to where the 2 ends meet and then pull it out, and these 2 go up over your ears. Okay, Manny has put it on, but according to the way they instructed you to fold it, there was a problem. So Manny, please turn to the side. Point to the chin, there you go. And you'll notice the way they ask you to fold it, it doesn't wrap around the chin. So we're going to try it one more way. So let's try this. Unfold it and take the hair ties or rubber bands off and fold it back out like this. Okay, and your coffee filter's still in there in the middle. It kind of shifts around a little bit, but now take your hair tie or rubber band and put it back on again, but leave this double folded. And I think what they meant by tuck was putting it inside like this. I think. They don't show that step. So let's try it on again. Here's Manny again. Now turn to the side and you'll see it now goes under the chin. This is a square of quilting fabric. This has a very tight weave, and this is what they suggest should be your first choice for your mask. The only problem with it, to make a no-sew out of it, yes you can, but when you go to wash it, all of the raw edges will unravel during the wash cycle. If you wash it by hand, it'll still unravel a little bit. So if you're one of those that does have a sewing machine, and you know how to do at least a straight stitch, let me show you what you can do with this fabric. So if you have quilting fabric, and you're going to do the next method that I show you, then cut your square 21 inches. Then at your ironing board, just fold the edges over about 1/4 inch and press. And you're going to go all the way down to the end and just sort of eyeball it. You don't need to measure it exactly, just so you can kind of get that edge folded over. And go down. And then fold it over one more time and press it. And go all the way down to the end. Then go around to all 4 edges and do the same thing. After pressing, then go to your sewing machine and stitch along the inside folded edge all the way around. If you do not have a sewing machine, but you do have a needle and thread, then just do a simple little basting stitch. Try to make your stitches as small as possible and just go in and out. And you would do it right along this folded edge. Place your coffee filter in the middle. Take the 2 edges, bring them into the center. Remember, the 2 edges are meeting here like this, and try to get it pretty much even on each side. Then take your 2 hair ties or elastic, insert it, get it to where it's about 6 inches apart, and then fold your ends over and tuck them inside. Do the same thing with the other side. I made Manny a second mask because the first one was too small. His head's larger, so I cut his 20 inches by 30 inches. It's always wiser to have a little bit more because you can always cut the excess off. And turn to the side, Manny, so they can see. And it wraps around his chin. The CDC recommends that you wash these every time you return home after being in public. You can put them in the washing machine and in your dryer, and make sure you use hot water and high heat in the dryer. Now, honey, I think we look really sexy, but remember, social distancing. If you have a sewing machine and you would like to make one of these, for instance, this one has ribbon to tie around the back of your head, and this one has elastic that goes around your ears, and these fold and unfold like an accordion. They also have piping at the top edge there to fold it over your nose so it hugs the upper portion of your face underneath the eyes. So you can go to those links by going to the very end of my video. So play this video forward until you see a green screen and then click on the links. If you like this video, please click on thumbs up, and don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. And if you haven't subscribed yet, click on that red subscribe button down there in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Click on the bell and enter your email address so you can receive notifications about my latest video. If you're not receiving the notifications, then go to your cell phone or iPad, click on settings, and turn notifications on. This is Maria, Manny, and Jamie. So glad you came to my sewing room. Happy sewing!
Let's go this hour.